What up, crypto fam? It's Phantom, taking another look at the market. We got Lily with us again. Hopefully, can pull us out of the slump that Bitcoin's been in. Bitcoin corrected pretty hard yesterday and today. It shot down pretty significantly. It did rip through our first support level. We haven't yet touched the weekly trend line. I am maintaining my bullish sentiment until we close below both of these levels. If we do close below both, I think we have some falling to do, likely into the 34 to 28K region. I think there's going to be buys layered that whole level down. But we do have, some bullish things happening, even though the market's not reflecting that. We have Cardano's in the news. Snoop Dogg came out with his NFT collection, which is huge for a number of reasons that I plan to go over, and why I think this is just the start for Cardano building NFTs for the music industry and the long-term benefits that they have for working with a blockchain such as Cardano. The U.S., I think, is an important position where states can be the front runners in the United States if they allow and have more common sense regulations on cryptocurrencies and blockchain. I think a state can come out as a leader if they play their cards right. And Bank of America is actually in the news. They came out speaking about cryptocurrency and what they believed would happen with crypto if the U.S. recession hits as hard as a lot of people think it will. So, looking at the Fear and Greed Index, we are at 20. We've dropped significantly since last week. And if you follow the stream, you know that this is a good sign. When fear's in the market is when things generally start their turn. I still maintain my belief that I think towards the end of this week we start to see our bullish momentum back. I just hope that we don't rip too hard to the downside before that does come through. I think the market's recycling, refreshing, cooling off is a good thing. The extreme pullbacks, I think, are not so great, but it's part of market cycles, right? You have to have retracement for continued growth. And obviously we're still coupled with the S&P because the S&P ripped down today as well. We did mention on the stream that the S&P was hitting a resistance zone on its market cap, so this may be some of that hitting us as well. I think there's also a lot of uncertainty in the market right now, especially with the U.S. government and governments all around the world trying to push their own agendas. So that's Bitcoin. I think if we reclaim the support level, I'll be happy. I think if we close below both this support level and this weekly trend line, I'll start switching to more of a bearish sentiment. But until then, I think this is a strong support. It's obviously held since 2020. So this is what, if this breaks, I'll change my mind. But until then, I'm maintaining bullish momentum, just slower than we'd hoped for. So the Cardano news. Snoop Dogg's NFT collection launches on Cardano, featuring unreleased music and more. The NFT collection of American rapper Snoop Dogg has launched on the Cardano network. The collection announced earlier this month featuring iconic collectibles, limited edition pitches, and unreleased music, this is a big deal. According to a shared tweet by Clay Nation, an NFT project, the rapper is collaborating with the project and it's now been launched. We've launched our official collaboration with Snoop Dogg, and this is one of the examples of the Claymation NFTs that came out. So why I think this is big. One, it's mentioned in the news article here that Snoop Dogg's Cardano-based NFT are being released shortly after the cryptocurrency hit a new milestone on its network. According to Morgan Schofield, head of ecosystem growth at Cardano, the network's now issued more than 4 million native tokens on top of It's nearly 50,000 minting policies. In effect, over 4 million NFTs and non-ADA tokens are now circulating on Cardano. That's big news. That's huge. Charles Hoskinson had a meeting with Snoop Dogg live on Twitter. It was awesome. If you haven't watched it, I highly suggest it. Why I think this is just the beginning. NFTs make sense for the music industry. Anyone that's gone to a concert, generally if we as regular people try to buy tickets, these bulk sales are going to the radio hosts, they're going to resellers and things like that. They get an early access to buy up a ton of these tickets before they go to the general public. And so most of us are paying ticket prices that are much higher than face value because we're having to buy it from a second party. NFTs can control that. NFTs can change that process. Imagine a ticket sale where you purchase an NFT as your ticket. Still scannable, it could still be trackable if through the blockchain. You could see every hand that it's been in or every wallet that it's been in. You can track the prices that the ticket has had since the initial release to what it is today. The face value is obviously printed on the ticket, but you don't know how many hands it's changed before it ends up in yours and what different prices it's gone through. That would all be trackable through the blockchain. And the big reason why I think it's going to be a heavy hitter is the artists can get royalties for each step of the way. And I think that in and of itself is a reason that a lot of artists are going to want to start pushing the NFT type of agenda. That, I think, is our next logical step. Futuristic from there, I think you start seeing concerts in a metaverse and purchasing tickets that you can see from your living room but be in attendance in the metaverse. And I think the more that Cardano makes a name for itself as a solid platform that can help artists like Snoop Dogg, increase royalty sales, increase trackability, ensure that tickets aren't being made fraudulently, that the scalping price isn't set through the roof, that the sales are released to everyone fairly so that people aren't paying obscene prices above the ticket price. This is win-win-win for a lot of reasons, and it's because of that I think we start seeing this more and more. So I think this is just the start. I think Snoop Dogg is an unbelievable artist. I think he brings a lot of knowledge of the space, and Charles Hoskinson complements that obviously from the blockchain cryptocurrency space. Snoop Dogg can open a lot of doors for other artists that he knows, music labels, producers. The guy has an insane reputation in the music industry, so he can open a lot of doors. I think it's a very fruitful relationship, and I see big things coming from this in particular for Cardano. And this is just one of the amazing things that it's working on, right? I think it may be time before we really start seeing the fruits of the labor, but same was proven when they were building the project. And Cardano took years and years and years to create a quote-unquote working product, but now it's beating everything that was expected on the network. People are coming to it in droves for the foundation that they've built. It's incredible. The staking rewards are awesome. I think I have 15,000 Cardano, and I've earned over 1,000 Cardano just by staking. And since September of last year, I mean, no bank can touch over $1,000 of it, or it's just dipped below $1 today. But close to $1,000 in interest for just holding the currency. It's unbelievable. So the other news article that I have, and congrats to Cardano, they've been putting in the work and they're now seeing fruits of that labor. The first U.S. state to adopt Bitcoin will make huge gains. The United States could lose its prominent, is probably more accurate, could lose its prominent financial and political influence in the world as other sovereign powers make haste to legalize and adopt Bitcoin as their reserve currency. The threat to America is not merely a matter of leaving an increasingly plausible, enormous amount of money on the table. Bitcoin is the largest ever deployment of strong public key cryptography in history to secure a financial system that is growing parabolically. This is 100% accurate. I was going to like it to the arms race or to the space race. You want America to be a leader in this, and we are just creating roadblock after roadblock. We're shooting ourselves in the foot time and time again because we have a lot of dinosaurs in office. I think we start to see states competing for leadership of the cryptocurrency space. I think states that have common sense regulation that kind of give, tax incentives and things like that for people to be innovative in this space, I think those states start seeing fruits of that labor very quickly. And you want to be a front runner in this type of space. So I think the race is on, not only for, a global winner, but also I think in the United States there's going to be competition state to state as well. You want cryptocurrency, blockchain innovation to happen in your state because it's going to increase and drive the revenue, possibly for what the United States does going forward. And if that adoption can start closer to home, all the better. So I think this is a big deal. I really, really hope that the government starts taking notice of the repercussions of their actions, and I hope they start thinking in a more open and clear way instead of just getting in their heads. And they kind of have made their decision, and all of their policy is just reflective of the decision they made, an uneducated decision that they made. I'm hoping once they do receive that education, that they do receive those updates, that they are talking to people in the space, they aren't so entrenched that they then can't reverse and start supporting these technologies and innovations. So I thought this was really good to see. I think it's really good to point out. I hope a lot of people in Washington, hint, and government offices around the United States start to pay heed to what's going on here. Last news article I have is Bank of America warns of dire recession that could see cryptos rocketing to new highs. A brace for a recession. I think everybody and their sister has been talking about a recession coming. I think the Fed can only fight inflation for so long, and that the longer we kick this can, the harder the recession is going to hit us. As per a report by Reuters, BofA's chief investment strategist Michael Hartnett warned in a weekly note that the U.S. economy could sink lower following what he termed as inflation shock and rates shock. I completely agree with this. Last week, the Federal Reserve signaled that it will likely start slashing assets from its $9 trillion balance sheet at twice the rate it did on its previous quote-unquote quantitative tightening exercise. Furthermore, according to minutes from a March FOMC meeting, a majority of the commission wants a central bank to hike its key interest rate by 50 basis points as part of the plan to lower the 4-decade high inflation figures. So this is probably a large reason that we're seeing a lot of the pullback in the markets. They come out with news like this and around the same time every month, and if we're not in a strong bullish position, we usually get some type of pullback, and then people kind of forget, go on their merry way, and we see recovery, which is I think is going to happen towards the end of this week. This comes even as Jerome Powell stressed that the American economy is very strong and well positioned to handle tighter monetary policy. On Wednesday, this time, however, he noted that inflation is likely to take longer to return to a price stability goal than previously projected. So he's already wrong in his projections. People already called him out on this. So when you're wrong because you haven't listened to people, then the people get to say, I told you so. And when they do, it's more punishing because you haven't listened. So I think this is spot on. I think it does continue to unfold. Cryptocurrency and commodities are going to emerge stronger. Michael, however, argued that in the context of this economic turmoil, cash, commodities, and cryptocurrencies will likely come out strong, outperforming bonds and stocks due to their considered inflation-proof nature. His sentiments echoes a note by the bank in late February, where the global crypto and digital asset strategist at the bank ruled out the possibility of crypto winter, despite the U.S. Federal Reserve and microeconomics headwinds likely limiting the upside of cryptocurrencies. To him, the level of adoption and growth and development activity only screamed continued strength by the cryptocurrencies, which is spot on, right? I mean, the famous saying is to keep building, even while the markets, the cryptocurrency markets tank. I was collecting Cardano, Ethereum, all the projects that I believed in, during the last bear market, and I worked on things that just continued my positions. I've invested some in a DeFi Kingdoms, and I'm letting it just accumulate Jewel tokens and let your money work for you. While these times where we have pullbacks and we have bear markets, that's the time to start learning how to trade. That's the time to start learning what cryptocurrencies you may have high conviction behind. That's the time to start averaging in. Obviously not financial advice, only invest what you can lose, but it's worked out for many fairly well. I mean, but the important part is taking the time, doing your research, and investing in what you believe in. Invest in the cryptocurrencies that are going to win this race, because the likelihood is 95% of the cryptocurrencies that we see on CoinMarketCap aren't going to be here in 10 years. The strong ones, Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, Bitcoin, these ones are going to, in my opinion, be around here in the next 10 years. So this is where I'm putting my time, my focus, my energy. And, I think we need to wait to see what happens with the recession, but I think it is going to be a catalyst for the cryptocurrency market as a whole. So just in closing, super bullish news for Cardano. Super excited for them. Amazing project. I think the first state that comes out and really adopts cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, and the innovation that comes with it, I think is going to start leading the United States. And Bank of America, I think, is spot on that a recession is going to hit us hard, and it's going to be good news for the cryptocurrency industry. So until then, we'll just keep watching our support level, see if we reclaim it, which is likely to turn into a resistance level at this point, and see if our weekly trend line holds up if it does get hit. So until then, I hope you have a great rest of your Monday. I hope you have an even better Tuesday, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, peace.